Hi everyone, my name is Javi and I can draw, and today just a few minutes I want to show you a few more examples of how to use the line of action and the center of gravity to draw some natural poses. Let's go. Okay, so this is going to be a quick one. I did some few examples trying to show you that, well, if you're actually considering the center of gravity and you're also considering the line of action of the movement and the motion that the character is going to be doing, that it actually solves those two things, solve most of the problems that you're going to get when you are trying to draw natural poses. Now, I'm going to show you just a few quick examples, and I'm looking a lot at the screen, but here I am. Okay, let's do this. So the few examples that I have here are pretty simple. The first thing that I wanted to try was someone walking. You know, when you're drawing someone walking, it mostly never looks well. I believe that the line of action of someone walking is going to be something like this. If it's, you know, a relaxed walking, a little bit hunched maybe. But the most important thing, and well, you didn't notice here, but I actually had to rotate the legs once I drew them, because I didn't feel like the center of gravity was what it should be. And well, that actually solved the problem, and I realized that I had to do that in a lot of the following drawings and in the other poses that I'm going to show you. That sometimes what I didn't understand what I was doing wrong is that I wasn't finding the center of gravity. So sure, now that you have a line, you can clearly define here that the center of gravity should be somewhere in the middle between the two legs. I find it super helpful. So let's just quickly do the same here. Now I wanted to do like someone asking for someone to dance, and I knew that this, like, they were going to be bowing, but also I was thinking about the weight of the arm going forward, and this one trying to like counterweight, but not so much. Like if you wanted to counterweight, it should have been something like this. But since it's not, most of this part of the body weight is going to go forward, so this leg helps to keep the center of balance. If you are going to be drawing, like if I'm going to find the center of balance and I'm just going to focus on the rib cage and the hip, the center of balance will be somewhere like this, but it's not going to be like that because of the weight of the arm. So it's going to be more like something like this, I believe. And well, I accommodated this leg, and well, you already understand how it is. Now these two that I wanted to show you are the two ways that I usually crouch when I have to crouch. Either bend your legs all the way and go down, or either just bend your torso and just bend your knees just a little bit. And it's the same thing. Like, well, in this one, the line of action, I wasn't thinking so much about the line of action. It would be something like this. It's not like super interesting. But on the bending here, I wanted, like, if you're bringing the torso forward just a bit as you're crouching towards your legs, you're going to be actually allowing your feet to be just below the center of gravity, just around here, just between your hips and your torso. So basically, well, you know, in this particular case, it's a nice rule of thumb to think that what you have to do is always try to keep the feet below the character, below the heaviest parts of the character. Well, most of the times that's exactly what you have to do. So, well, in this particular case, I had this line of action, and the center of gravity, I had to like do it myself, stand there and see how I crouch when I do it like this. And you know, you bend your knees just a little bit, because when you're bending your knees, you're bringing your hips to the back to compensate for your shoulders going forward, for your rib cage and your shoulders going forward, and that keeps your feet in the middle. In this particular one, I wanted to do something like I did in the bowing one. I mean, I wanted to bring something like this forward, so bringing this arm forward as well. But the more you spread the legs as you do a pose, depending on, you know, what the character is doing, if it justifies spreading the legs or not, but the more you spread the legs, the more you can start doing with your arms as well without throwing yourself off balance. So as soon as I started like spreading these legs and bringing this forward, Well, it was pretty easy. Now, for this particular one, I wanted to try to do just someone turning, in a sense that, well, maybe this foot should be somewhere like this as well. But in a way, like, you know, you're bringing your arm weight here, and at the same time you're twisting your body, like your crotch is facing this way, but your eyes are facing this way, and this all twists in the middle. And well, that's it. Like, if you're going to compensate for this weight and you have your hip going this way, like, these are the three heavy things that you have to consider. So the center of gravity would be somewhere like this. Oops, sorry. What's going on? Somewhere like this. So you have to bring this leg just a bit back, just a bit, and you just have to keep this one straight. And at last, I wanted to use some like kind of superhero kind of move, because there are a lot of other poses that I want to try next week, like dynamic poses. And what I mean by dynamic poses, I mean poses where you're actually like jumping or trying to punch someone and not necessarily having your 2 feet on the ground, but you're doing something more complex that it doesn't mean that you are balanced. Like, if you're jumping, when you are in the middle of the air, you're not actually balanced or things like that. So for last, I wanted to show something that had some like kind of like action, or that feels a little bit more dynamic without being something that has the character off balance. So for this one, what I thought, I was like this really Spider-Man-like pose that I really like drawing. And I thought that, well, if the body is going to be arching like this, like the hip is going to be here and the shoulder is going to be here, you can't have like... You have to bring this leg forward. You have to bring one of the feet forward if you're going to have this one on the back. Now, I could potentially have this arm be somewhere else, but, you know, in the usual Spider-Man, you know, kind of pose, he's always putting his fingers on the ground. And I thought that, well, you know, you kind of make a tripod with this 3 things. And it still looks very dynamic because you're losing like this line of action, and it looks really good, right? So these are the examples that I wanted to show you. You know, just to show you that when you are considering the center of gravity and the line of action, that you can pretty much, as long as, you know, the character is not doing something crazy like punching or dancing or something like that, you can figure out any pose. So, you know, line of action, center of gravity. Those are the 2 things for a natural pose. So that's going to be it for this week. I'm pretty happy with the results. My name is Javi and I can draw. Thank you so much. If you like this video, like it, leave me a comment if you want to ask me something or suggest me something. Subscribe if you like this channel. And that's it. I'll see you on the next week. Bye.